Lucas Kasunas and Tommy Bruner. We'll do our normal format where we'll go with an opening statement from you, Coach. We'll give questions for the student athletes. We'll dismiss the student athletes and come back to questions for Coach. Questions will be coming from Michael Palmer and online over there. Go ahead with your opening statement, Coach.
First of all, congratulations to Paul and his team at North Dakota. I think Paul did a wonderful job with his team this year. You know, several times throughout a season, a coach kind of reinvents his team, and he did a wonderful job this year in developing his team. His young guys came along so well and matured and developed into really good players. His young kids, Amat, what a good looking freshman he is. Trent did a wonderful job for them. His ability to get to the paint and break the defenses down. Sardisky, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing his name, he really improved to the point where he was such a pick and pop threat, stretched the defenses. Danielson was just a great job of, again, stretching the defenses and playing within himself. I thought he did so well. And then Norman, and boy, we let him get loose a little too often tonight. 6 threes, I think, and I think my comment in practice the other day was, this is a guy who can put 7 threes up on you if you lose him in transition and you don't communicate well on the offensive end. He hit 6 tonight, and that was too many. I thought we did a pretty good job in the first half defensively on them. I thought in the second half, without Tevin, our depth was a little depleted. These guys didn't get as much rest as they usually get. And they kind of wore us down as the second half wore along. You take a look at the shooting percentage, 59% second half for them. And that's just too much. It's too high. And, you know, I asked a lot of these guys, they're playing a lot of minutes, and the lack of depth really hurt us. But compliments to North Dakota and the job that they did tonight in the season.
Thanks, Coach. Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
You're dominant inside of much of the game. Just kind of coming in and trying to take advantage of your edges in the post at all.
Yeah, we saw last game when we played them that they were kind of weak on the interior, and we were able to kind of capitalize on it a little bit. That was one of the keys of the game, just kind of go inside out with, you know, me finishing, guys cutting inside out 3. So that was just kind of the plan, and I just was able to get going and kind of set a pace for the guys.
You know, I would add that they weren't weak inside. He's a load to guard. I mean, we've seen it. He's gotten better and better as the season went along, and nobody could check him tonight. And 27 points on 12 of 15 from the field is a pretty dominant performance offensively.
That's Tommy. You guys played very well today. You lost wise in the regular season. What was the biggest difference between this game and the two previous games against Dave?
I mean, we know it's March. You know, they gave us a really tough challenge tonight, and you know they were the hardest playing team. You know, they had players make big time shots, and you know they just came out with the big thing.
What's your biggest takeaway this season, especially late play?
I'm just thankful to be with, you know, my brothers. You know, we had a lot of ups and downs, but you know, every time, whether it was coach or just life or basketball, every time we were challenged, I felt like, you know, we stepped up to the plate. We never got like mad at each other or anything. We always stuck together. So that's my biggest takeaway.
You know, the season is an endurance test for its participants under the best of circumstances. And we certainly had our share of adversity, and that was the most prideful part as a head coach of my team this year, just the grace in which we handled adversity. Nobody played the blame game. We stayed together in terms of our chemistry and our camaraderie. You know, I shared with the guys, I think my experiences this year made me a better man. And of course, my hope would be that it did the same for my players. And, you know, adversity is not a question of if it's going to happen, it's just when. And we had more than our share, and these guys handled it with grace and dignity and incredible resilience.
Lucas, you scored a very nice 27 point. It was working for you, especially in the first half, just to kind of get going and
The guys decided I had it going. I was able to get to my spot every time. They didn't really deal with me. They kind of let me play one on one, and the guys just kept throwing in the ball to me. You know, my teammates believed in me. They knew they saw what I was doing and just kind of kept coming to me.
Thanks, Lucas and Tommy. You guys can head back to the locker room.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Go ahead with questions for Coach.
was there anything you wanted to see or you
Yeah, we played them the first time. We gave up 15 made threes out of, and they hoisted up 39 in the first game. And we won that game by 7 points. And after our game, they really committed to the 3-point shot. And they went through a stretch where they were shooting about 40 a game. So when we played them the second time, we were so hell-bent on eliminating threes that we left open driving lanes. And it was a layup contest in the second game at their place. We had no gap presence. We had no defensive support. And after that game, it was kind of a point in our season where we said we need to execute our defensive principles at a much higher rate than we did, and we did that, and we were committed to the gaps and the weak side presence, and we've played very well defensively down the stretch, so we certainly knew their 3-point prowess. Norman was the guy, you know, and I think we did a decent job of contesting threes from the other guys. You know what, as a team, 13-35, but Norman 6 killed us. You know, he's a big time. He's as good a shooter as there is in the league.
Last question, was part of your team this season.
Yeah, without a doubt, the resiliency of the team. It's, and again, not to repeat myself, but man, we've had a ton of injuries, and nobody made excuses. Never felt sorry for ourselves, and it just did a really good job fighting through these things. We had a gut punch, just a real gut punch a few weeks ago against South Dakota State. Had a big lead. I mean, we were dominating the second place team in the conference for 33 minutes. And we lost that game like we want to. No, and I mean, that was as hard a loss as we had this season. And we came out in the next game and just dominated South Dakota. I think we gave up 12 points in the first half. And, you know, that was one example. But man, that was reflective of the heart that the guys on the team had this year. That nothing got us down, and maybe we had disappointment for a little while. I always talk about the difference between disappointment and discouragement. We might have been disappointed after that game, but we certainly weren't discouraged, and we came back and more determined than ever.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate your time.